Hello everyone, my name is Faizan Khan and welcome back to my YouTube channel Coding Lifestyle for You. This is the last part of this login and sign up page project. Till now we have completed the functionality of sign up page, and now in this video we will see the functionality of this login page. We will see how a user will be able to log in successfully by entering the username and password. And this username and password has to be the same username and password which the user has used while registration. So firstly, let's see all the data that is there in our database. So we'll open my command line, and here we will firstly show databases. So these are all the databases, and the one that has the data is this register user. So I'm going to use this. So use register user. Okay, now we are inside this register user database. Now I'll display the tables inside this. So this is the table. Okay, now I want to see the content of this table. So I'll write this command: select star from user data. So these many users are registered, and we can log in with the help of these username and these passwords only. So let's try to log in with this tuba username and 1234 password. So if I'll enter tuba, and suppose if I enter some wrong password and try to log in, it gives error message invalid username or password. But if I write correct password, it says login is successful. So firstly we will see this functionality, how to log in successfully, and if the fields will be empty, you will see simply an error message that all fields are required. Okay, that fields cannot be empty. And after that we will move forward with this forget password functionality. So let's get started. So I'll go inside this signin.py file, and to this login button we will be providing a command. So command equals to login user. So whenever you will be clicking on this button, this particular command code will be executed. So let's define it at the top. So here firstly we will check if the fields are empty or not. If the fields will be empty, we will display a message box that all fields are required. So we will check if username entry dot get equals to null means empty, or password entry dot get equals to null. If both or any one out of these two are empty, in that case we will display a message box. So we'll write message box, but you can see this red line because the message box is not yet imported. So we'll have to import it from tkinter. So we'll write from tkinter import message box module. So now the error is gone, and we'll use its method, which is show error. Firstly we'll pass the title, which will be error, and then the message that all fields are required. Okay, so now if I'll run, and if both the fields will be empty, and if I try to log in, it says all fields are required. And if these fields are not empty, it means the user has written some text, some username and some password. In that case we'll simply move to the else part. Firstly I'll establish connection with MySQL database. So for that we have a connector that we installed, right? So we just need to import it here. So we'll write import by MySQL. Okay, so this will help in establishing connection with MySQL database. So here we'll write MySQL dot connect method, and to this connect method we'll pass host, which is localhost. Then we'll pass user, which will be root, and then we'll pass the password 1234. Okay, this is the username password for my MySQL database. Okay, and the connection will be established, and I'm assigning to this con variable. As you know, this is helpful. It helps in committing our changes, and with the help of this we also create our cursor, which help in executing our commands, right? So we'll write con dot cursor, and this will be nothing but my cursor. So this variable will help in executing our commands, and I'll keep this in try and except block. So if there will be any issue, in that case we'll simply execute the code that will write in except block. Okay, and in except block we'll simply display a message box dot show error, and the title will be error, and the message will be connection is not established, try again. Okay, and after that I'll return from here. So if there is no issue, then connection will be established successfully, and if there is any issue, then you will simply see this message box and you will return from here. The code after this won't be executed. Okay, now next thing is we need to go inside our database. Okay, so if you'll go to the signup.py file, here if you see we have created this database, right? So this database is already created, so we don't have to create the database here, we just have to use this database, right? Okay, so what we'll do, we'll simply write this query to use the database. Okay, and we'll simply execute this query. So here we'll firstly write this query and then we'll execute it with the help of this my cursor. So we'll write my cursor dot execute and we'll pass this query. Okay, so we'll move to this particular database. So the user is trying to log in with the username and password. So firstly we will write one query to get the username and password, if that username or password exists in the database or not, right? So we'll write one query here, select star from data where username equals to %s and password equals to %s. Okay, so this is the query that we will be executing. So basically we will try to find out in the database whether the username and password is matching with the same username and password that the user is entering on the entry fields. Okay, so here we'll simply execute this. So my cursor dot execute, and here we'll pass this query, and we need to replace these %s, right, with the values that are there on the entry fields. So we'll get the user name from user entry and we'll get the password from password entry. Okay, so if we are getting any row, it means the user is entering the correct username and password. Okay, and if we are not getting any row, it means the user is entering wrong username or password or both. Okay, so we'll simply try to fetch the row. So we'll write my cursor dot fetch 1. Okay, and this will give us the row, and if the row will exist, if row equals to none, okay, it means we didn't find any row, it means the user is entering wrong username or password. So we'll simply display a message box dot show error, and the error will be invalid username or password. So I hope this is clear, that if you will be entering the wrong username and password, then in that case you won't be getting any row, and if the row is none, you will simply see this message box. Else, if the row is not none, it means there is some row. Okay, it means you have entered the correct username and password. So we'll simply display a message box and will show info. So title will be success and the message will be login is successful, like this. And instead of title success, we'll change it to welcome, like this. So let's run and see. So if you are not entering any username or password, you are getting all fields are required error message. And if you are entering username Faizan and password 123, I'm not sure if this username or password exists or not, you are getting some error. So if you see, this error is line number 22, and at line number 22 I forgot to add this in the form of a tuple, right? So I'll add parenthesis here. Now it's fine. So it says invalid username or password. So let me see in the database which username and passwords are there. So I'll open this MySQL command, and now I'll simply use some other database. Okay, so I'll firstly display the databases. I made mistake in the spelling. Okay, and our database is this user data. So we'll use this, use user data, and then we'll simply display the content of the table. Okay, so we'll write select star from data. Data is the table name. So this much data is there in that user data table. Okay, and these are the username and these are the password. So we'll try with Kanika1234. Okay, so here I'll change it to Kanika and 1234. So now you can see that login is successful. So if you'll try to log in with wrong username or password or both, then you will simply see the error message that invalid username or password. Otherwise, you'll see that login is successful. I hope this is clear. And now let's work on this forgot password button. So what I want, when I click on it, I should see a new window. Okay, where there should be username, new password and confirm password fields, and then the submit button. Okay, just like you saw in the original one. Let me show you. So if I click on this forgot password, you can see this is the GUI. So I hope now you know how to create a GUI like this. We have completed design of login page and sign up page. So I would want you to try it on your own. Okay, and I'll also quickly design this and we'll move to the functionality part. So to this forget button, I'll pass a command. Okay, and now I need to define this at the top. So here I'll write forget underscore pass. So firstly, we will create a new window with the help of top level class. And then we'll use this main loop method so that we can see the window. Okay, and it will also help in displaying the image on this top level window. Okay, I'm talking about the background image. So with the help of this main loop, you will see that background image. So now if I run it, you can see our window is ready, and here we have our title, but the window size is very small. As we'll add the background image, its size will automatically increase. So background image I hope you guys already have it. I have provided you in the description. So just copy it and paste it here. So the image name is background.jpg. Okay. So this is the code for adding background image on this top level window. Firstly, we will be importing the image with the help of image tk dot photo image class. Okay, we are using image tk because we have a jpg image. As you know that image cannot be directly added, we firstly have to create a label, and then on that label we'll have to add that image. And once you'll create the label, after that you also need to grid it in order to see it on the screen. Okay, so we'll use this grid method, and if we are not passing any row or column value, by default it will be row 0 and column 0 only. And also the advantage of using grid method here is the window size will automatically increase like this. Okay, and now we need to add everything inside this white space. So if you see this, firstly we will be adding this heading reset password. So I have created this heading label where the text is reset password. This is the font, background color is white and foreground color is magenta 2. Okay, and then I have used place method because I had to place at some particular position. That's why here x value is 480, y value is 60. After that we need to add this username label. So this is our username label placed at x 470 and y 130. So this was our heading, and now this is our username. Okay. Next thing if you'll see is this entry field where the user will write the username. So this is the entry field where the width is 25, color is magenta 2. This is the font Arial 11 bold and border is 0. And this is a placed at 470 x distance and 160 y distance. After that you can see this line. This is nothing but a frame. So we'll add this. So this is our frame where height is 2 and width is 250. Okay. Yeah. So this much is ready. And next is new password label and its entry field and the frame line. Okay. So it will be similar to this one only. So this is our password label where the text is new password, then its entry field. Okay, the name is new pass entry, and then we have frame which is a line. Okay, now if you see, we got our new password label and its entry field. Okay, in the same way we'll add confirm password label and its entry field. So firstly confirm pass label, then entry field, and then the frame. Okay, and finally at last we need to add the submit button. So this is how you have to create your submit button. So the GUI is ready, and now let's work on the functionality. Okay, so firstly let's see how this forgot password functionality works in this original project. So if username, new password, confirm password fields are empty and you try to reset password by clicking on the submit button, it says all fields are required. So here you need to enter the username, and as you know username is unique. So while registration, you will be entering the unique username only. So the username should be there in the database. But if you try to log in with some random username and you enter the password and confirm password and try to submit, it says username is incorrect. Okay, and also if you'll enter the correct username here, okay, and you don't match this new password and confirm password and try to submit, it will say that password and confirm password does not match. So both should match, and now you will be able to change your password. So it says password is reset, please log in with new password, and once I'll click OK, that window is destroyed, and now you will be able to log in here. Okay, so it says login is successful. So I hope you understood how this is working. Let me just show you the database firstly. So I'll change the database. So I'll use register user database, and let me see the content of the table. So if I try to reset password for Fifi, I can do that. Okay, so Fifi is the username and 1234 is the password. Let's try this, and I'll change it to 9876. So it says password is reset. Okay, and now let me show you the updated password here. So if you again display all the data of this user data table, you can see the password is updated to 9876. So I hope this is clear how this is working. So let's see how we can add this functionality. So here we have a submit button, and I'm going to provide it a command. So command equals to change password, and now let's define this function. So inside this forget password at the top, I'll define it. So first condition was to check if any one or all fields are empty or not. So I'll check if user entry dot get equals to null, or new pass entry dot get equals to null, or confirm pass entry dot get equals to null. Okay, so I'll simply display a message box. Title will be error and the message will be all fields are required, and we'll also pass the parent here so that we can see this error message box on our window. Okay, because window is the name of this top level. Next condition that we need to apply is to check if new pass and confirm pass are matching or not. So elif new pass entry dot get is not equals to confirm pass entry dot get. If these two are not equal, in that case we'll again display a message box. So I'll copy from here and we'll paste here, and the message will be changed to password and confirm password are not matching. Okay, so if the user has filled all these entry fields and matched this new password and this confirm password, then we'll simply go to the else part. So in this else part, firstly we will establish the connection with the database, and this is required because there might be a case like you directly open the application and you try to change the password. So the connection with the database is required at that time. Okay, So we will be doing in the same way just like we did earlier. So I'm gonna copy these two lines from here and we'll paste here, and here I'll pass one more argument which is our database. Okay, and we'll pass the database name which is user data directly. Okay, so the connection will be established with this user data. And the next thing is we need to match the username with the database username. So we will write this query where we are matching the username from the database with the username that is there on the entry field. If you will not get any row, it means you are entering the wrong username. So we will fetch the row. We'll use mycursor.fetch1 and we will store if there is any row inside this row variable, and then we'll check if row is equals to none or not. So if this will be equals to none, it means you are entering the wrong username. So we'll display a message box, incorrect username, like this. And if there is some row inside this row variable, it means you have entered the correct username. So we'll simply move to the else part, and in the else part we will simply update the password. So for that we'll write one query, update data table set password equals to %s, where username equals to %s. If we don't write this where username equals to %s, then all the rows password will be set to the password you are entering in the entry field. Okay, so that's why this is required. So now the password will be changed for the particular username only. Now let's execute this query, and we'll replace these %s with the entry field values. So password will be replaced with new pass entry dot get, and username %s will be replaced with user entry dot get value. And since we are updating the data, we also need to commit our changes. So we'll write con dot commit, and then we'll close the connection. So con dot close, and then we will display a message box that password is set successfully. And once you'll click OK of this message box, I want the window should be closed. So we'll write window dot destroy method. So now let's run and see if we are able to update the password or not. So firstly, let's select the username from the database. And yeah, I made one mistake here. I hope you guys have noticed that this query, uh, the table name here is wrong. If this is the database user data, then the table name was data, not user data. So correct this and rerun the code. And now let's check the data. So firstly, we'll change the database, and then we'll see the content of data table. So let's change the password of this username, John678. So here we'll mention John678. New password will be 567567. So it says password is reset. Please log in with new password. You can see the window is closed and you can now log in. Okay, so John 678 and the password was 567. So it says login is successful. Let me show you in the database the updated password. So now you can see the password is updated here, 567. So I hope you have understood how to reset your password. So we are done with this project. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section if you have completed this project successfully or not. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching.